Hello, everyone.
Hello.
Hi, Jolene.
Hi.
Hi,
Happy
I noticed
Valentine's
Jennifer's
Day.
on too.
Hello, everyone.
Hello. Happy Valentine's Day.
Yes, happy chilly Valentine's Day to you all.
Okay.
Anybody sleepy-eyed from watching the Super Bowl? Although it was earlier than it's been for forever. I mean, I remember going to bed at 1 a.m. After some.
I did watch it, but I confess I didn't give it my full attention.
It wasn't really an action-packed Super Bowl. I mean, maybe because I didn't care who won, but
Well, I remember the first Super Bowl, so
Wow.
well, I don't quite remember the first Super Bowl, but I was born when there was the first Super Bowl.
okay, it looks like we have a quorum with no problem.
Mhm.
And if we
We
get
don't
the,
have our secretary, Devin. Oh, there it is. Here she is. Sorry. Okay, I see it.
Um, Here it is. Okay. So you've had the minutes. Do I hear a motion that the minutes be accepted?
Make a motion that the minutes be accepted. It's Martina.
Second?
I'll
David
second.
Stevens?
There you go.
Okay, all those in favor, say aye or raise a hand or something.
Aye.
Okay, motion carries. Just read a note from Linda this morning. Good morning, John. Due to a family emergency, I will not be able to attend the commission's meeting this morning. However, Jennifer Kaufman and Jolene Woodmansey will be joining the meeting to talk with the commission about various initiatives and answer any questions you may have. So we're grateful that she made arrangements, and we're happy to have you, Jennifer. We appreciate your, and there, Julius. So we've moved you up to this spot in the agenda, figuring that you probably had other things to do, not that our meetings aren't as riveting as the Super Bowl, but obviously the Commission on Aging has a vested interest in housing for the elderly. So other than a grateful welcome, we'll turn it over to you, whoever's going to lead off.
So I don't have a formal presentation for you, but I did want to just chat with you a little bit about some of the development projects that are happening in Mansfield. None of them are specifically geared towards seniors at this time, but I can just, I think it's a good tool for you, for all residents and this commission as well, we have a, what they call a story map on our website, and I can show you how to get there and then talk to you a little bit about some of the projects that we have going on, if that makes sense.
That does to me.
Okay, so if I can share my screen, let's see here. Oh, you have to enable me to share my screen.
Do we need Dorothy to do that, or?
Yeah, Dorothy will need to do it. Dorothy, could you do that?
I can sort of start off. I'm not sure how much you all are following some of the things that are happening in town on in the papers and all of that, but our most recent development is the Willard. It's a redevelopment of the Willards. Oops, I can now. It's disabled. I think I can share my screen now.
Dorothy, can you share the screen with Jennifer?
Oh, nope, not yet. So it's it's the former Willards parcel, if you're familiar with that. So it's actually 4 parcels. Willards, the former 2 steps that has been vacant for a while, Roselle's 2 steps, Thumpers, I'm not sure what people know it as well as Holiday Mall. And then there's a very small vacant parcel in that as well. And so that consists of 398 multifamily units, and there is going to be some retail there as well. We have updated our regulations so that we require some what we call family-friendly units. That means that the master bedroom has to be a little bit bigger than some of the other bedrooms. There has to be room for a full-size dining room table. So it has to be in a form that families or anyone would want to live, families, seniors, not just students. So that's what we've done. Can I share my screen now, Pat? I'll try again. Oh,
Dorothy's working on it.
No, I can now. So I will go. So let me just tell you this. If you are interested in learning about the development projects that the Planning and Zoning Commission is reviewing, you can go to the Planning Department website, and then you can go down, there's this drop-down menu, and you can go to development activity. And that will take you to this beautiful story map that Linda Painter has done. And we try to keep that updated so that as people do applications, the public can kind of understand what's going on without reading like the 1,200 pages of application materials. So the application that I'm talking about right now is right here, Four Corners. This is the Willards parcel, and then you can kind of see what they're proposing. This is what it's going to look like if the Planning and Zoning Commission approves that. So they did close the public hearing on last Monday night, and I believe it from their conversations, you can always listen to that recording, but from their conversations, I think that they are going to put forth a motion for approval. It's been a very long project. They have been reviewing this for probably 6 to 9 months, and we've had independent technical consultants to make sure that they're meeting all of our regulations. And something that you may be interested in is that per the regulations, they are going to be contributing $1.7 million to Mansfield's Affordable Housing Trust Fund, which will then hopefully enable some seed funding for the 42-unit mixed income project along South Eagleville Road that's adjacent, in the proximity of Wrights Village, near the senior center, and that's going to be a housing authority project. It's being developed by their nonprofit arm. So that's, while this may not, we're not sure anyone can live here. They can't deny anyone from living here, but in terms of it being attractive to seniors, that would really depend. But the good news is that we will finally get some money that the Housing Authority can use as leverage to develop that project on South Eagleville Road. Some of the other things that we're seeing, we are constantly meeting with multifamily developers. We can't control what people develop, what they propose to the Planning and Zoning Commission. And every time we meet with them, we are always asking for kind of a form that is different from these large apartment complexes. Clearly, there's a need for those, but I'm not sure why. The developers don't seem to want to build any kind of small lot, single families, something on a smaller scale from that standard at Four Corners that you just saw. There is a, let's see if I can scroll around here. Oh, another development that we will be seeing come back is the 497 Middle Turnpike. If you're familiar if you're familiar with the golf course, the Villa Hills golf, there was a 9-hole golf course. There was a pizza place. So they have sold that to some folks that are interested in doing some multifamily development as well. So they have come before the Wetlands Agency. We gave them some feedback, and they withdrew their wetlands application, and they, with the intention of kind of revising that project and coming back. So that is a proposed 250-unit multifamily residential development. Those are some of the larger housing projects. We did recently have a meeting with Masonacare, and that will be something they have not met with us in a while, and I think they're looking to come in and do an application sometime soon, but we do not have a live application that we can share with you right now. They haven't submitted their proposal. Let's see, I think last time I presented on our affordable house. So let me see if you have any questions regarding developments, and then I can talk to you a little bit about our affordable housing plan and some progress that we've made with implementing that. But I'd be happy to answer any questions about some of the development projects. And I I will stop sharing my screen right now unless people, I can always share it again and if you want to dive deeper into those projects.
Do we have any idea of what the price range is going to be on these?
So we do not. We do know that there will be some affordable units. We are requiring them to do, they're going to be doing some at 80% area median area, AMI, area median income, sorry. So they're going to be doing, there will be some affordable units, and that's per our regulations for people at different income levels. And they will have to submit paperwork confirming that they are, in fact, they remain affordable. So in that application, they have a whole affordability plan. So that is part of our regulations. And they wanted that part of their regulations also required them to give that $1.7 million contribution. They did get a density bonus for that. So I can dive deeper into that application, but just to know that there are some affordable units that will have to stay affordable. And that's the case with all of our multifamily developments. They all have to have a component of affordability, and they're required to do an affordable housing plan. Pat, did you have a question?
Yeah, one of the things I hear a lot about is the impact on the increase in housing on town services. Ambulance, transportation through WRTD, and transportation patterns, and all the other services we have in town. When you do those developments, do you do a study of what the financial impact will be on the town, both on the positive from a tax perspective and a negative from service demand?
So planning and zoning does not get involved with a financial impact analysis. However, every applicant is required to do a traffic study. They have to confirm that they can connect to the sewer. All projects are reviewed by the fire marshal to make sure that they're meeting certain codes. But when, the Four Corners area in particular, the town has made a conscious decision to say that we want to direct development there. So, that's when they updated our zoning regulations, when we've done our plan of conservation and development. And so we can't really, that's sort of where the financial impact analysis began, I guess. And we do have, I think it's 3 smart growth areas in our town. And that's where we're trying to direct this kind of more intensive development. So those smart growth areas would be Four Corners, Storrs Downtown, and the Eastbrook Mall area. The remainder of the town is basically geared towards a more, larger lots, kind of maintaining our rural scheme in Mansfield. Any other questions about development? And I encourage you just to keep an eye on things. All of the Planning and Zoning Commission meetings are open, and you can attend them, you can live stream them, you can review them after the meetings. We also have a regulatory review committee that our department staffs, and they are looking at different zoning regulations. Some of that would be to look at some of our neighborhoods to do small lot single family homes to see some more redevelopment. So that's kind of what's happening on the development side. And then I can, if you don't have any further questions, I can talk to you a little bit about our affordable housing plan. And I'll share my screen just so that I can show you how, if you can't sleep at night and you want to dive deep, you can go ahead and look at our the affordable housing plan. Can you? Let's see, there we go. Let's see that. So if you go to our, again, if you go to our website you go to the Mansfield Affordable Housing Plan, and you can look at what the plan is. That was adopted by the Planning and Zoning Commission on July 6, 2021, and the Town Council on July 12th. We've made some good headway in terms of implementing that plan. We are in the process of establishing an affordable housing committee, and the Committee on Committees and Town Council is actively seeking applications for that. So if you know of anyone who would be interested or qualified or would like to serve on that, I'm sure the Town Council would appreciate some more applications. In addition to that, we also passed the Town Council established an affordable housing trust fund. And that's where we can put money into the affordable housing trust fund and then review applications and then start doling out money, whether it's for new developments such as the Eagleville Green development on South Eagleville Road, or redevelopment, or looking at some of our housing and putting a permanent affordable housing restrictions on them. So there'll be that trust fund outlines how those monies are to be spent, and that will be a major charge. That will be a major focus of the Affordable Housing Committee, is sort of reviewing applications and determining how those funds will be allocated. So, I encourage, if any of you are interested in looking at the charge of the Affordable Housing Committee, I'm happy to share that with you. If you know of anyone who wants to serve, they can apply online. The Affordable Housing Trust Fund is interesting because, it really outlines kind of the priorities that are coming directly from that affordable housing plan on what is to be funded. So I don't know if you have any questions about that. No questions? No complaints?
Not yet.
Pat?
I'm not trying to complain, but one of the real concerns here, and you know this, Jennifer, and I know it's a concern of the town, is the lack of development that is allowing people to not only age in place, but age in community. The lack of our options people have when the home that they're in no longer works for them.
Yeah.
And, obviously I've been involved in what's gone on with Masonic over the years since I've been here. And it's nice to see that they may be looking, at submitting something sooner rather than later. But I know it's tough, but what can the town do to encourage? And I know that I talk to Linda all the time about this, and I know the town is interested in that, but what can the town do to really encourage more development that allow people who've lived here all their life or worked at the college or have family in this area and want to come here? What can we do to keep our senior population and our disabled population a vital part of the community as well?
Right, that's something that concerns our department every single day. I think there's sometimes a confusion about what the town can do and what the town can't do. And, we have zoning regulations that would allow, we have places that we would allow that type of development. But in the end, we're dependent on what developers want to build. So I cannot tell you how many times I've sat in a meeting with a developer telling them that, I've lived in town for 22 years. My children have left the nest, and I'm also in that position of looking for that type of housing. I really want to stay in this community. And I tell them and so does Linda and Jolene, and we tell them every day what kind of form we think would be marketable. But in the end, it's them it's their land. They're the ones responsible for proposing that development. The one thing the town could do, but I'm not sure if there's any public appetite for that, would be to buy land and actually contract with a nonprofit developer, and we would have control. But short of that, we can zone it, we can talk about it, we can have our Economic Development Commission reach out to specific developers. But we, as a town, have not ever tried to develop it on our own. The Affordable Housing Trust Fund is a good step in that we will have money for a project like Eagleville Green, which should have that type of housing that the population you're talking about is interested in, and it will be mixed income, 42 units. But I believe they're talking like 60 or 70% of those would have some sort of affordability restriction. That's only 42 units. But if we could control what people propose, it would be the type of a housing that you're talking about, Pat.
I have another follow-up, and I know this is for the commission, but this is a vital question as well. With the town having 2 vacant schools and the property adjacent, has there been any talk about, because that is town-owned land, about controlling development and potentially adding some affordable senior housing in those spots as well?
Well, we are in the process of doing a facility study. And I encourage this commission, if that's what you would like to see, and this is all sort of happening at the department head level, and I'm not really, I'm not a department head, but I would encourage you to talk to the town council and recommend that they reach out to the community, because this is your land, right? This is your land. These are your buildings. And I think that you have a role in communicating what you'd like to see there. Ultimately, these are aging buildings, and the town residents are going to have to decide what they want to, how much money they want to invest. But from a personal side, I think once a town gives up land, you can never get it back. So I encourage this commission to take a stand, and my understanding is you're advisory to the town council. Is that right, Pat? So
that is correct.
And from the human services side, I think you also, as a department, have I'm sure you're in conversations with Ryan, but these are big decisions.
I think I will say to everyone here, the reality is there's going to be a free-for-all to try to grab those sites from nonprofits and everything. And it would be very important, if you feel strongly about controlled development in town for senior development and disabled too. I don't want to discount our disabled community, because that is a true issue here in town as well. Those are 2 sites that will be, what decisions made will be controlled by the town. So, it's not even the, converting the aging buildings into housing, which, sometimes that's more problem, but the land itself, and what might potentially happen there, even if something happens different with the building or part of that building, there's still land available on those sites as well for some possibilities, or demolishing a building, that's not. So that is something, it's going to be time for everybody to kind of put what they think needs to happen, or their opinion, and if they feel strongly about, because it's a opportune time, let me put it that way, to let people know in a more specific way versus we want more housing. Can we do this? And I'm telling you, there's going to be a lot of people looking, nonprofits who want space, other people who have ideas about development, other people who want it sold for either less money or, do some type of business or commercial, which increases the tax base. So they're all good ideas, but that this would kind of be the time, I think, if there is a decision for you to advocate.
One thing I've talked with Linda about, we've talked a lot about, is that, both Goodwin and Vinton have been neighborhood anchors, and those neighborhoods are losing those anchors. So I think we need to do an overall plan, right? To see what's going to work economically, from a neighborhood perspective, from a traffic perspective. And I really do think beyond the facilities, I think we need to do neighborhood plans so that we can really understand what the best use is for those facilities. But Pat's right, there is going to be a lot of competition from the private sector, nonprofit, and other town departments. And these are extremely valuable town resources.
Right. And again, that whole concept of the village where you might have some meeting space or some other type of facilities along with some housing, you know, maybe with
Recreation.
some commercial. Yeah. You know, that I think might sell well with the whole community, especially the people living in those areas. So, but yeah, I agree with you, but I already am hearing, you know, from nonprofits and other people like, when are those buildings going to be available?
Right.
So,
But, you know, ultimately, this is the town's land, right? So I think all of us who live in town and who serve the town, you know, need to have the opportunity to weigh in on that. Any other questions regarding affordable housing? Any other random questions about the what we do in our department before I turn it over to Jolene, who's been really busy on the community development side of our work? Okay. I'll let Jolene has a lot to say about, she's been very busy.
Okay, hi everyone. Thanks for having us. Jennifer, can I share my screen now?
Yeah, that's up to Pat. Pat, if you try sharing your screen, otherwise Pat will have to let you, Pat or Dorothy will have to let you.
Okay. All right. Do you see it? Does everybody see it? Or do you just see my email?
Yeah, it's shared.
Okay, okay, great. All right, so now we're going to switch gears a little bit into the development side of planning and development. I'm just going to talk a little bit about two programs that are up and running that can help our low to moderate income residents. So the first program we have is the Housing Rehabilitation Program. This is, so if you can see the screen, this is the website that's been built for this program. We help folks with low to moderate income be able to renovate their homes, to make their homes more, you know, energy efficient, to maybe do some ADA compliant work. But this is a great program. It's the town picks up the cost. And then what we're essentially doing is we're leaning the property at 0% interest, no payments or anything until the house sells. So for instance, if someone you know needs a new roof and they don't have the funds to pay for it and they meet these income guidelines that are set by HUD, then the town can come in and we do a bid process. And we can get these folks a new roof. We lien the property. Like I said, it's 0%. It's essentially free money until the house sells or changes ownership. So this is a great program. You know, I'm happy to answer any questions you have about this, or you can refer anyone you know to me and I can sit with them and see if this program could work for them. So the second program we're currently running is the Covet assistance program. So in 2020, Linda and I wrote a grant to the Department of Housing to see if we could get some funds to help our low to moderate income folks deal with the effects of COVID. So we wrote the grant for 3 activities: rental assistance, food assistance, and childcare assistance. The state took out the rental assistance because they thought there was funding from other sources that could help these folks. So we were left with food assistance and childcare. We did get a sizable sum of $500,000. So we have been working really hard to get families who are eligible to sign up for this. We're doing lots of grocery shopping for folks. Pat's staff has been great. We're, taking orders and filling them with local grocery stores. The income limits are the same as the housing rehab program. So, if you know anybody who could maybe benefit from this as well, please encourage them to go on the website. The application is here. There's a pre-screening form. If they want to see if they might qualify, they can fill that out. That's right here. So basically we're providing food, and we're picking up the tab for a portion of childcare for these families. The requirement is that you have to have suffered an effect of the COVID-19 pandemic. There's lots of ways you can meet that. You can have lost your job. You could have had to take some unpaid time, because you or a child or a spouse had COVID. You can, let us know that maybe groceries are costing more because of COVID. Gas is costing more, electricity is costing more, all of those things. So there's lots of ways that you can meet the COVID impacts. One other thing that we're doing is I reached out to Juniper Hill with this funding, and we are currently, they had to increase their cost of their main meal, their lunchtime, due to the food increases costs. So we are now, with this funding, we are picking up the cost of the noontime meal for any resident of Juniper Hill who wants to take advantage of that. And that's been just a great success, great program. The other thing we're doing is this Friday, we're supplying meal kits from Moe's to our families. And that seems to be, this is brand new. We just put it out on Friday. We've already got, I think, 15 responses for families that want to take advantage of this. So that's just a really brief overview. If anybody has any questions, I'm happy to answer them, or, you can call me later and get more information.
Questions?
I want to say that it's a wonderful program, and that a lot of people didn't realize that seniors were eligible for it. And I'm going to say the income levels are a little more generous than some of the programs that we've had in the past. And who hasn't seen their grocery bill, their electric bill, their gas bill, many other bills go up. So it is fairly easy for someone who is in that low to moderate income area to show that they've had an effect. And the program goes through the end of this calendar year, correct, Jolene?
Yes, so December of 2022, yeah.
And I will say what to you, Jamel is very capable of helping people through the process as well in our department. So I'd encourage, if you know people who might be interested in it and it would be helpful, it's a way to stretch your dollars right now when everything is costing more, to send them through the process. Currently, we've been getting a lot of applications. Currently, how many are you up to, Jillian?
So counting Juniper Hill, we have processed about 75 applications since the start of this. Not everybody is eligible, but the majority are. So yeah, I think we're currently helping about 60 folks. The nice thing about Juniper Hill is they have the same income guidelines to live there that I have for this program. So essentially everyone there is qualified, which is how we're able to just pick up the tab for their lunchtime meal.
Right. I do think some people would be very surprised when they saw the income, especially people who, again, if you retired at a particular time and it seemed like a lot of money and now it's not, which I know a lot of people that's the case. you know, that, and again, it's groceries, it's potentially meal kits, and it's this. It also, for some of our people, helps to pay for our drive-through lunches at the senior center. So.
So I just want to add one other thing. The town council did approve us opening this up to the residents of neighboring towns. So if you know anybody in Wyndham or Willington, Coventry, Chaplin, I think there's one other, but you know, they would also be eligible. I haven't done a ton of outreach to the other towns as of yet, just because we've got to figure out staff capacity, how we would handle, you know, sort of like a ton more folks. But once we get that ironed out, I will be doing some outreach to the neighboring towns.
I did put on up on the screen the income levels so you can see, but that's all again on our website.
The other town is Ashford, I believe.
Ashford, yeah,
Jolene.
sorry.
In terms of policy, does the town of Mansfield Planning and Development, do they have a policy other than the state in terms of affordable housing? Or do they just adopt the state's policy?
See, so we use our area median income, and we have 80%, 60%, 100%. So we're going by area median income. Does that make sense, or does that answer your question?
Okay, and this just feeds into the state skeleton of the policy. So the town of Mansfield doesn't have anything separate from the state.
Well, our area median income would be different than the state's area median income. So we're going by our specific area median income. So we have low, moderate, and workforce housing, if that.
So area median income is determined by HUD, and it goes by region. So we fit into the I think it's Hartford, East Hartford. So our data comes from HUD for those numbers, based on there's a table that is just gigantic. So our median income comes from HUD. It's determined by them.
And I will say the town has also, the fee waiver is set on that. Our campership programs, a number of programs are set on that as well. The town has decided to kind of standardize that in fairness to the community.
And how about disabilities? Does the town have any policies separate from the state, or do they just adjust a little bit to local climate?
In what sense? I mean, you know, there is a definition of person who's disabled, and that's established by both the Social Security Administration and the Americans with Disabilities Act. So, and that's about being permanently disabled and affecting certain parts of your life, you know, essential parts of your life. So, you know, there's temporary disability, and sometimes the towns, if it's a town run and town funded program, we can make some decisions at, you know, from, you know, town to town. But a lot of the programs and services like that are basically set by federal and state guidelines.
Thank you.
Are there any tax programs, Pat, regarding people with disabilities?
There's veterans, and then renters rebate and homeowners tax programs. I believe that those are all have components for disability. Again, it's, you know, permanent disability. So that impacts, you know, core aspects of living. So, and that standards are set, like I said, by the Americans with Disabilities Act. And of course, veterans have their own system of service-related and non-service-related disability, like they have about a lot of stuff. The Veterans Administration is kind of its own animal.
One other thing, separate subject, one other way that this commission can get involved is our plan of conservation and development in the next few years. We will be updating that and we'll be reaching out to you. But that's really the place for you to share your opinions, your voice, and on where the future of our town, on some of the policies, some of the land use patterns. So we'll be reaching out to you in the next few years. It's not due until 2025, but we do have to start working on that probably in 23, 24. So keep an eye out for that.
Other questions? Well, thank you so much for visiting with us. It's been very helpful.
Anytime. I did put our contact information in the chat, and that's our job, is to answer questions and to try to direct you all to programs, and so feel free to reach out to us. If you don't have any other questions, I'm going to leave. Take care. Happy Valentine's Day.
Stay, but we understand you're busy.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Bye. Okay. And thank you to Sylvie for making arrangements for that meeting. Gotta find the agenda. Give me a second. I received no correspondence other than the note from Linda Pinker. So we're up to Pat.
Okay, a couple of things. One, I just wanted to make you aware of, John, I'm not sure if you got the information. I think they tried to send it to you, but it was kind of late about the taking a look at sustainability throughout the town. The town is, again, we got the silver, which is the highest award that is offered regarding sustainability. I believe it was about 5 years ago, and the town is going through the process again. And they've started some of their preliminary kickoff meetings on that. And they're really asking every commission, committee, town department to take a look at, how they are advocating sustainability in the community, whether that's recycling, whether that's, energy management, whether that's preventing homelessness, there's a number of different. Preventing homelessness is a new topic this year in that area. So if you are interested in that, certainly give Jenny a call over in our Public Works Department, who is our recycling and sustainability guru. That's going on. We talked a little bit about the townwide building study. This does not include school buildings other than the buildings that are going to be vacated with the establishment of the new one school. And again, there's going to be different opportunities to comment. And I do strongly suggest, if you have strong feelings about those two properties, the town almost never has property available, and it's precious, as Jennifer indicated. And there's certainly going to be a lot of competing demands for those two pieces of property. Now would be your time to get your word in, whether as you as a commission wants to propose something, or you want to speak at the council, or you as individuals want to say something. Because again, there will be, and is already, a lot of competing interest for that, for that land. So that's going on right now. Of course, that includes this building here, the senior center, the library and the town hall, as well as the Public Works building, the animal shelter. Trying to think if there's anywhere else. But again, that's going on right now. So, and that's just really a building study. It's a programmatic study, which is different than what they did a number of years ago, where they actually took a look at just conditions of the building, which I know Will and some of the others of you, Martina, you were on the commission then, took part in that. And one of their big outcomes was that this building from a long-term perspective is not, doesn't work as from a long-term perspective as a senior center. So now they're taking a look at programs and program needs from that perspective. So it's kind of a step beyond what they did the last time. So that's going on right now. And budget process, I've submitted the budget, met with the town manager on that. He's pulling together his, and having discussions preliminary, I think, with the council before he comes up with his recommended budget. That's happening. Agency grants were due at the end of last week. They are now being kind of collated and put together to be sending out to the Human Service Advisory Group for their special meeting in February. We'll be representing the seniors in that meeting for those. And the ARPA funds are going to be being discussed at a special meeting tomorrow night. So a lot going on right now. Some of you have met Jessica Dewars. Jessica has resigned for family reasons. So we are short a part-time staff member here on the social service side of the building. So we're in the process of recruiting for a new person for her. She has generously said that she'll come back and volunteer to work with the garden groups because she is a master gardener and her heart, is really in that. So that's something she is planning to do as the weather gets warmer, but we are short a person. Sarah, unfortunately, is coming in a little bit late today, so I can certainly take some questions about the senior center. We're, doing regular drive-throughs, meals, which have been very well received. We are taking a look at on a kind of a week-to-week basis as things change regarding COVID and COVID reaction. And we're also waiting for the town council to make some decisions. As it moves more toward the end of February, when the governor is changing some things regarding masking and other things. Great news, our new van is in. We are so thrilled about that. So yay. And again, thanks to those people from our past Mansfield Senior Center Association who generously contribute to it to help offset the cost from the town's capital expenditures. So we're thrilled with that. It's got a lot of things in it to deal with some of the COVID things, including a specific filter. It's got more seating than our past van, our other van. And we currently have a backup van if something happens or goes down with this one. So we're very, very happy about that. And that's all I have, unless you have any additional questions. I can certainly get them to Sarah. I was hoping she's doing it 10:30, but I don't think she's in yet. So any questions you might have for me?
Yeah, Pat, can I just ask about the van? What will you be using the van for exactly? I mean,
The same thing that we've been using it for up till now. I mean, we have been prioritizing. We will probably start trips again once the weather gets warmer, but we've also been doing some medical transportation for persons in wheelchairs, and some when we, again, and when it's not appropriate for volunteers to drive, or when we're feeling like we did with Omicron, that
Right.
for a period of time it wasn't really appropriate to use volunteers because of some of
Right.
the risks, particularly in small vehicles. So we have been using it, and it's really medical transportation, Nancy.
Right. No.
So
Yeah, no, that's what I was wondering then. Okay, great.
Yeah, so we are, we're asking people that when dial-a-ride or ADA transportation is appropriate, that that's what they use. But we're understanding that that's not working for everybody and they don't go everywhere. I mean, our goal really with this program was to do out of district transportation for people, that dial-a-ride didn't do. But
Right.
so,
Okay,
yeah.
thank you. That's great.
It does accommodate 2 wheelchairs too, which is nice.
Wow.
Yes, Martina?
Great.
Yep.
Is there a written policy that the van driver does not come up to someone's apartment and get them?
Yes.
Okay, I was wondering about.
Yep. They have to be able to get to the van. Yep. And there's a couple of reasons for that, Martina. Some of it is insurance and some of it is leaving the van and from a security point of view.
Okay.
So in most cases, unless it's medical transport, which this is not medical transport, drivers don't go and pick people up at the door.
Okay, thank you.
So that's more an assistive transportation.
Thank you.
Now, even though you refer to the old van as now a backup, will both vans be operating?
That it was my plan. I have, there is some talk regarding age of the van and some of the other issues with the van. Now that it is 10 years old plus. So I am in conversations with John Carrington. I certainly would love to have both vans available. And at this point, our plan is to use it. Like if we have a large number of people wanting to go on trips. Some of my proposals for the ARPA funds, at least for the 3-year period that we're allowed to use the funds, would be to get some more driver hours so we could run more than one van, because we understand now more than ever how dial-a-ride and ADA just doesn't work for everybody. So that's my plan, but that's still under discussion. That was the original plan. Let me put it to you that way. So, but I know you're probably aware that we've had a number of issues, particularly over the last year with the van itself. So there's concern about cost and upkeep and all of that as well. So any other questions?
Okay, thank you, Pat.
I
Will,
think what we'll do, also the first time we're able to meet again in person, we'll have the van parked so people can go in and see it too. So the commission members will be able to see the vehicle. So we're quite proud of it.
Will, anything new on WRTD?
Nah, nothing new there. Nothing new with Jensen's. Construction keeps going and we're just waiting for spring.
Martina, anything for Glen Ridge?
Nothing new with Glen Ridge, and Mary Attardo could not make the meeting from representing Juniper Hill Village because she wasn't feeling well. But the residents committee has not met for 2 months, so there's really not a lot going on.
Okay. Old business. We long ago approved an addition to our website to put the link for modifications to housing to help seniors. We finally, with the help of Sarah and the technical people, have got that link in place. So if you go to the website, it's right there along with at your fingertips for sure. Neither of the subcommittees have met since the last meeting. I've done a little bit. I've gotten to the town hall and started researching some history on when the need for additional space and facilities for the senior center first appeared. I've also done a little bit more in terms of getting some census data. I've seen several aspects that would indicate that it is available. It's just a matter of figuring out how to dig it out. Questions? Okay, 3 minutes before 10:30, we might make it yet. New business. No people from the general public. I was thinking of adding to the agenda where it says opportunity to, for the public to address the commission, that we put in some way they could get a hold of the link. Whether it's to contact me or contact Devin, not Devin, Dorothy, whatever.
It's actually posted, John.
Is it? Okay.
Yeah, it's actually posted. So that's required.
And where would
You know,
that be?
that they contact us for the link.
Okay. I just looked at the agenda and I didn't see anything there. It must be higher up.
It's basically what they need to do is contact and ask for it. So, and that the link to ask for it is on the agenda.
At the top of the agenda.
Yeah, so if you click on, see it's meeting ID, it says online meeting and then meeting ID.
Yeah.
And then the tab for mobile from your phone. That brings them in.
If I was a member of the public reading that, I don't think I would figure out that was my way to request a link.
Yeah, I mean, that's the overall way that the town is doing it for all its agendas.
I don't think the average person could negotiate that.
Excuse me, Pat.
Yeah,
When I opened up my computer, I went to that link at the top, HTTPS Mansfield Zoom.
Yep.
And it come back, says no such meeting. So I don't know if there's something wrong or what.
yeah, let me see. Let me try to. Yeah, I'm not sure. Because it should lead you right to the meeting.
One other thing, some of the other organizations that I do Zoom with have it so you don't need a passcode. The link contains everything, so you just click on the meeting link and you're in the meeting.
Yeah, I don't think the town can do that because of some of the initial problems they had with people, what do they call it, Zoom bombing or whatever. So there's ways that we have to do it with a passcode or somebody letting each person in, which is a little more complicated if you're trying to make it open for the public. And it's also, it has to be recorded. So there's very specific ways that the town set it up.
Okay. I assumed it was something like that, but I thought I would ask.
Mhm.
Any
Yeah,
other business
I don't-
to come? Yep, go
Yeah,
ahead.
I don't remember if any of you remember in the beginning, the problems with Zoom bombing in a lot of places, you know, the town didn't go with Zoom originally because of that.
Yeah.
So,
I have a question for new business in the immediate future. Are we going to draft another letter to the town about and state what our desires are for the school properties that will be vacant soon? Do we need a committee or what do we need to do?
I would hope that some of the members would explore being on that committee.
That's not a committee. There's affordable housing, which is different, which is a different committee. But the council would be looking for input from the commission, however specific or vague you want to be in that. As far as the building study, and that would be on this particular building here, on the senior center, certainly, but on properties that are available and things to be considered as well.
Yeah, it sounds like we need to make our wishes known again,
Yeah,
especially since there is, town property available before it's given away at a bargain basement rate to some other developer.
Yeah.
So I'm just putting that out there.
I think given Jennifer's comments about the stampede for those properties, we should make that pretty high on our priority list.
And also, just,
It will go quickly.
yeah, and just keep at it. I mean, not just do one proposal or one letter or whatever, just be like Will Bibble and just keep at it.
Do we have time to address that at our next meeting, or do we need to have a meeting as soon as one can be legitimately announced and called?
I think you have some time because it's not like the school is going to be vacated and then, you know what I mean? But I do think that you're going to want it during the time period that they're considering this building study. So, which is the next couple of months.
So at our next meeting, address that.
Maybe we could put it on the agenda for the subcommittee to start thinking about, going ahead with something like that.
Another option would be to ask a council member or the mayor to attend and discuss some of your concerns. She says she would always be willing to attend.
Good
So
idea.
That's another possibility. I don't know, John, if you want to extend that invitation. She's been pretty available for just about everything.
I missed which council member?
The mayor, Tony
Mayor.
Moran.
Okay. So what I'm hearing is I'll put on a spot for discussion of the use of available facilities and how we would fit into that for next meeting.
Okay.
And maybe if the subcommittees get around to meet, they can discuss it a little bit ahead of time.
And then, you could certainly extend the meeting, the invitation for the meeting after that, which would be April for, to the mayor.
Yes. How many would like to extend an invitation to the mayor to meet in our April meeting, at our April meeting?
Mhm.
Okay. Good. Other items? We're not too much over the 10:30. Appreciate your coming. Happy Valentine's Day.
Happy Valentine's Day.
And we'll see you next month.
Valentine's Day,
Hey,
everybody.
John,
Valentine's
Uh,
Day.
are we going to be virtual again next meeting or?
I'm
Uh,
assuming virtual until further notice.
Right,
Okay.
until the council makes that call. Right now, they're asking all commissions and committees to meet virtually.
Okay,
All right.
all right. Happy Valentine's Day, everybody.
Happy Valentine's Day, everyone.
Valentine's Day, everybody. Take care.
Oh, bye, baby. He's cute. Hey.
Oh, look at the smile.
Bye-bye. Thank you.
All right.
Put him on a Valentine.